Hey guys, I've got a cool little socket set here from Gearwrench that I want to talk about. This is the Pass-Thru, I believe is what they call it, or the low profile socket set. This is the 1/4" drive. I really like Gearwrench tools. I don't like all of their tools, and I'm not crazy about the quality of some of their tools. Gearwrench is part of Apex Tool Group, which has other companies like KD Tools, and I believe that these tools used to be made in America. I can tell you that most of them now are not made in America. They're all made in China. That's not to say that it's not still a pretty good quality tool, but it's definitely not top-notch quality. I mean, you still most of the time basically get what you pay for, but it's still pretty good quality, and some of their ideas are pretty cool. They're just not always carried out effectively, I guess would be the way to say that. Meaning, like, say this set is a good idea and the quality's okay. I think the idea could have been executed slightly better. Anyway, let's talk about the set. So, this is what you get in a 1/4" set. Now you get socket sizes from 3.5 all the way to 13mm, and on the standard side of things, 5/32 all the way to 9/16. Plus you get this little adapter here, so you can put a 1/4" socket on if you wanted to, a normal socket. Then you get your extension, which is this tube right here, which is also Pass-Thru. If you look, see that, you can see right through. And then you get this 6" extension. That's a 3, I believe, and this 6" extension that was also Pass-Thru. So I got this set to use at work because occasionally you run into something that you need just a little bit more clearance for. I ended up hardly ever using it at work. So after a year or so of sitting in my toolbox, it came home with me, and so now I just keep it around the house or keep it in the car for whatever emergencies or just any normal things that you might need a small socket set for. So let's first talk about the ratchet. So I'm going to compare it to my 1/4" ratchet, which I use on a daily basis. Now, here's the width of it versus the width of this. And this is an expensive, nice snap-on ratchet, so we're not talking about cheap tools comparing to less than cheap tools or slightly more expensive tools. So here's the width. If we compare it side by side, you can see that just the width of the ratchet alone is considerably less than that of the snap-on ratchet. As far as the length goes, I'd say we have a good 2 inches more of length, which is good because that gives you plenty of leverage. Here's what I don't like about the ratchet, is that the pivoting head is actually locked. So you have to push this button to release the lock, and you only have these different angles. Now some people like that, and I agree that it has its purpose, because occasionally when you're trying to get this into a place, you don't really want this head flopping around, because then you have to use another hand to get it where you want it. Now, so that has its purpose. I do prefer my snap-on ratchet that's flex head because there is no lock. The head just swivels with no resistance from end to end. There's no button, there's no like certain degrees that you miss like what you would with that. So that's not a huge deal. It's not what I prefer. I prefer like the more flexible flex head than over this locking flex head, but this does have a purpose. It's also got a nice kind of ergonomic, comfortable handle. This isn't thick. This little rubber here isn't really thick. It's just kind of like a little. It's probably glued on. I don't know. It could be an insert, but I don't know. It feels like it's just kind of glued on there, which is fine. It's still there. You know, eventually if it falls off, it's not a huge deal. This set doesn't get much use anyway. So, moving on, let's compare what the 1/4 inch socket on a regular 1/4 inch ratchet, and that's a 10 millimeter, so let's compare it to a 10 millimeter. So you just place the socket in there like that. Now, here's the difference between how much space you have on the two ratchets. So normally this is plenty of space. Occasionally it might not be. Let's look at it this way. Alright, so I would say that's probably about 3/8, not quite a 1/2 inch, but definitely more than a 1/4 inch difference in overall, I guess, width, you would say. So basically how much clearance you get. So you're going to get almost a half an inch more clearance, between a 1/4 and a 1/2 inch, somewhere around there, more clearance with the pass-through ratchet than you would with just a standard ratchet. Okay, let's look at this real quick. This is the 1/4 inch socket adapter to use a normal socket on this ratchet. I'm not really sure what the purpose of this is. Maybe if you just like this ratchet so much that you want to use it with normal sockets too, I guess that's the purpose of it. It does have the little quick release button, which is cool. I like that. I actually prefer the button on ratchets, but with more expensive ratchets you don't usually get that button, you know, which is okay, but I do like that. Although I don't use this set enough for this to even matter. You know, like I said, I only use this at home now, but it's kind of cool. It just kind of pokes through like that. So that's kind of neat if you like that sort of thing. The extensions are pretty cool, and this is where I think a set like this shines, but at the same time, how often do you really need a pass-through ratchet this long? And I can actually honestly say that in an automotive application, I have never had to use this. I mean, you're talking about trying to get a nut off of a stud, you know, that's where the stud is, say, 4 inches long, and you need something like this. You know, normally you don't need something like that. So it's a cool idea, but its usage for me is pretty low, because I just don't often need, or really ever need, anything like this. So in the way of this, yeah, it's cool, and it will be effective if you run into things like that often. I think more or less though, this set, you know, is for low clearance. That's what low clearance issues. So that's what I'd recommend this set for. There's really not a whole lot else to say. The ratchet is probably, just by listening to the clicks, so I'd say it's definitely more than 30 teeth. I actually didn't look up how many teeth this have in it. But I'd say that's probably more than 30 teeth, and more likely in the 40 to 50 tooth range, which is pretty good for a cheaper ratchet. And that could be 30 teeth, but it sounds like there's more than that, just by how often you hear the clicks. Versus, like, say, this snap-on ratchet. I believe this is a 72 tooth, just based off the part number here, T72. That's usually how snap-on part numbers their amount of teeth. So let's get a socket on it so we can listen to it here. So you can definitely hear the difference in the amount of teeth here, and there's a lot quieter and a lot smoother here, and a lot less movement in between each click. So that's what a 72 tooth sounds like, versus this. But it's not bad for the price. I don't remember how much I paid for this because it was a couple years ago when I bought it. But I know it wasn't that expensive, or else I wouldn't have bought it. You know, I like Gearwrench tools, but the quality to me isn't good enough where I would pay, you know, really name brand prices. You know, so I'm guessing I probably spent somewhere in the range of $40 to $50 for this set. So I mean, like I said, that was a few years ago. I don't know what they go for now. This line or whatever you call it, this type of pass-through ratchet sets, Gearwrench has in 1/4 inch, 3/8, and 1/2 inch drive. I remember the 1/2 inch drive set was pretty expensive, and I really can't imagine when. Well, I take that back. I can't imagine plenty of times when you would want that, but I don't know that it would be enough to warrant the price. I mean, it would be something you would probably need on a daily basis to warrant paying, you know, $150 or whatever for this set. That, you know, because for me, like say I might use it once every few months, and I just can't see paying that much money. Now for this set though, this 1/4 inch set, this thing is small, compact. You can travel with it. You can keep it in your car. You know, you could use it at work. You could do whatever you want to with it. But I think just having it around the house to do things that you want, or just keeping it in your car because you might need it at work one day. Be like, oh yeah, I got that set in my car. That'd be perfect right now. Boom, you have it. So yeah, I'd recommend it if you can get it for under $50. I'd say it's a cool little set. You know, 30, 40 bucks would be a good price if you can find it for that. Like I said, the quality is pretty good. You know, Gearwrench makes some okay stuff. It's lifetime warranty, assuming that you can find someone or a place to warranty them for you. But they do have the lifetime manufacturer warranty. It may be one of those things where you have to send them in to Gearwrench and have it done that way. So there may be shipping costs involved and stuff like that. I don't honestly know. Normally though, like the more common Gearwrench tools, like their ratchets and stuff, or their ratchet wrenches, you can warranty on the Snap-on or Mac Tools truck because they carry those. As far as this set goes, I don't know, so I can't tell you that. But for Gearwrench tools, you know, the quality is where you would expect it to be. So it's not Snap-on quality, but it is nice for a Chinese tool. I believe they're probably the chrome vanadium, you know, which is okay. You know, it's what you would expect to see in a lower cost tool, if you will. Well, that's really all I have to say about this Gearwrench set. It's cool. Get it if you need it. If you run into stuff like this, it's worth the money. If it's something that you can never see yourself using, then, you know, just stick with your normal ratchet set. You know, other than that, it would be a cool little thing to keep in your emergency kit in your car. You never know when, and this might come in handy. And you wouldn't think that, you know, a 1/4 inch wrench will come in that handy, but, you know, it's got enough leverage where if you're strong enough, you can make it work. You know what I mean? So, anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you liked the video. Any comments, leave them below, and we'll see you next time.